World Bank is backing CMEPA, which it says will help improve the efficiency of the Philippine capital markets and strengthen long-term growth. In an exclusive interview on Long Conversation Thought Leaders, World Bank lead economist Gonzalo Varela said the trade-off is necessary to fix a long-standing problem in the system, distorted tax rates across similar financial products. Varela explained that while not everyone will welcome the changes, especially those hit by higher time deposit taxes, the reform is designed to widen market participation and attract investment by making rules clearer and fairer. He added that reforms like CMEPA are crucial for the Philippines to expand its fiscal space and sustain investments in infrastructure and human capital.
That measure in particular, what it does is it reduces distortions that were arising from the fact that you had different tax regimes for similar transactions. So there's a unification of the tax regime there that reduces distortions and facilitates transactions. So that is a reform that we believe is going to be a good reform for capital markets, but it's going to be a good reform for the country on the line. It's a reform that helps reduce distortions. One of the other side of the coin of reducing distortions is that there are some transactions that were not taxed that are going to be taxed. There were some transactions that were taxed at higher levels that are going to be taxed at lower levels, and vice versa. Yes, it is likely that there are some agents that were not paying before and that will pay now. But overall, in aggregate, what we expect is that this is a reform that will help reduce distortions and improve the way in which capital markets work.
And continuing with our CMEPA discussion, let's now go straight to North Carolina with Mon Abrea, the Chief Tax Advisor of the Asian Consulting Group. He is currently taking his executive course in tax policy for practitioners at Duke Sanford University there. So good to see you again, Mon, and thank you so much for taking the time to help enlighten us all.
Thank you, Kathy.
All right, so let's get some clarity first. Are actual bank savings going to be taxed 20%?
No, that's fake news. The fact of the matter is the tax is imposed on the interest of deposits. And since 1997 Tax Reform Act, we have already a 20% final withholding tax on interest of savings account. So it's not a new tax or a new law.
Got that. So interest income is now taxed uniformly at 20% regardless of the deposit's maturity period. Does the unified rate, though, apply to provident savings programs like Social Security System, GSIS, and Pag-ibig?
No, DOF also clarified that the savings and investment on SSS, GSIS, and Pag-ibig will continue to enjoy their tax-exempt or tax-free interest.
Okay, so the government savings programs will remain exempt from 20%. That we're clear. How about insurance firms? Are they subject to the uniform 20% tax?
Yes, everyone else, including the FCDU, the dollar account will also be subject to the 20% interest, final tax on interest.
Got that. So now that that's clear, let's do the maths, Mon, and pull up the sample computation that you've kindly obliged us with. Say for a depositor with long-term time deposit of, let's put it at 500,000 pesos for 7 years. Mm-hmm. How's the interest earned going to turn out? And how much of a tax take will it yield?
Number one, the only difference is on before the CMEPA, they are exempted the interest. Let's say that it will earn a 10,000 interest. The interest will be tax exempt, 100% no tax. But under the CMEPA, assuming there's a 10,000 interest, that will be already subject to 20% final withholding tax, which is the same as any other deposits.
Now, let's say we do up a regular savings account of 100,000 pesos. And let's pull that up so that we can see that the interest earned for the year pegged at 250. What is the interest income before CMEPA and after CMEPA?
Okay, for a savings account, assuming we earn 250 pesos for 100,000 savings account or savings deposit, the 250 interest will be subject to the 20% final withholding tax. In fact, Kathy, if for those with passbook or access to their regular savings account, they will see that there's an automatic debit account equivalent to 20%. And that is the 20% final withholding tax. So in this case, at 250 interest, 20% of that is 50 pesos. So that means the 250 interest less the 20% final withholding at 50, their net interest, net of the tax will be 200 pesos.
Got that. So looking at it another way, deposits with maturity of say, more than 3 years or less, 3 to 4 years, 4 to 5 years, more than 5 years, and even the foreign currency deposits will now be taxed 20%. So that's a uniform 20%. So what kind of
Correct.
investment behavior then will this encourage, you think? Because it looks to most that it will discourage long-term saving.
Actually, Kathy, number one, we're not really a saver country. We're spenders. But other besides that, I think we are being encouraged to invest in the stock market, given that there is a significant reduction in the stock transaction tax. So instead of just parking your extra cash on a long-term or time deposit, you may now consider investing in stocks, in bonds, and other investment instruments. So diversifying your portfolio rather than sticking it out with regular savings or time deposit.
Right. Yeah, the Department of Finance argues that the old system favored those who are richer, as the studies show that they're the ones holding the long-term deposits. But is that a fair assessment, Mon? Because not all seniors may not be and may in fact be wanting to keep money in time deposits to guarantee the returns in their retirement years.
Well, the good news is that all existing time deposit will continue to enjoy their tax-exempt interest. Only those which will be open effective July 1 onwards will be subject to the 20%. And the Bangko Sentral also stated that only 0.4% of the total deposits are actually long-term or time deposit. So we're not really talking about a significant or huge number of our depositors.
So let's go back to the rationale then. The government's reason for CMEPA is to modernize, to simplify, and make the Philippine capital markets more competitive, efficient, inclusive. All very well, good. But the question is...
And following the global standards. And following the global standard, Kathy.
So does that make sense to match lowering stock transaction taxes with slapping a uniform tax on deposits? How are you interpreting the intent of the law as tax advisor?
You know, CMEPA stands for Capital Market Efficiency Promotion Act. I think it's literally encouraging us to join or invest in the stock market rather than just parking our money or extra cash in a regular savings account. That for me, regardless of our risk appetite, Kathy, we may choose on how much amount will be invested, whether 1%, 10%, or 20% of our income or savings. But I think we have to consider really investing to have more passive income with less taxes, rather than a deposit where interest will be slapped by standard 20%, regardless of the maturity.
Got that. Thank you so much for the clarity and also the power of choice that we have as consumers and investors. Mon Abrea of ACG in North Carolina.